I still remember the sound of being unreachable. Not offline, not airplane mode, just gone. A busy signal. A ringing phone with no answer. A message that waited. And the strange part is this: the world didn't panic. Press play, and the past doesn't feel far away. If you're Gen X, you lived through one of the biggest quiet shifts in modern life. We went from being reachable sometimes to being reachable all the time. And it didn't happen in one dramatic moment. It happened in steps. Convenience here, safety there, productivity everywhere. Until one day, you realize you haven't truly disappeared in years. In this video, I want to do 3 things. Take you back to how being unreachable used to feel, name what changed without turning it into a rant, and share a few ways we can keep our time and our nervous systems intact. Back then, distance was normal. Not emotionally distant, just physically out of range. You had one phone in the house. Maybe it was on the kitchen wall. Maybe it was on a little table with a notepad and a pen that never worked. And if it rang, you either answered or you didn't. If you called someone and they weren't home, that was the end of the story. You didn't assume the worst. You assumed they were living. You left a message on an answering machine if they had one. And even that felt like a small technology miracle. You'd hear your own voice back later and cringe a little, because everyone did. Or you'd call again later, not because you were ghosted, because timing mattered. Plans weren't fluid. They were commitments. If you said, "Meet me at 7," you meant it. And if someone was late, you waited, not while tracking their location, not while texting, "Where are you?" 5 times, just waiting. And if you got separated, you picked a spot. You wait here. I'll come back. And you trusted that you would find each other. There was a built-in patience to life. Not perfect patience, but a natural one. Even work had boundaries that sound almost fictional now. You had work hours. Then you went home. And unless someone called the house phone something that felt serious, you were yours again. And the best part was the freedom you didn't even notice. You could disappear without announcing it. You could go for a drive and be alone with your thoughts. You could sit on a porch, stare at nothing, and no one demanded an update. You could be unreachable, and that didn't mean you were irresponsible. It meant you were human. Then, slowly, being reachable became a feature. A nice feature at first. Pagers. Then flip phones. Then, the first time you could call from the road and say, "I'm running late," and it felt like magic. But every new convenience came with an invisible expectation. At first, it was optional. Then, it was polite. Then it became assumed. By the time smartphones arrived, reachable wasn't something you turned on. It was something you had to actively turn off. Now, the message doesn't wait. It arrives and sits there like a tiny open loop in your brain. Unread badges, notification pings, group chats that never close, work emails that land at night and pretend they're not asking you to do anything while still pulling at your attention. And the truth is, a lot of people don't want to be rude. So they respond, and respond, and respond, until their day becomes 1,000 small interruptions. Even when nothing is urgent, everything feels urgent. Because the channel is always open. And here's the weird emotional twist. Being reachable all the time can make you feel less connected. Because connection without presence is just contact. It's constant tapping on the glass. There are 3 contrasts that define this shift. First, interruptions. In the old world, life had long stretches of uninterrupted thought. Now, attention gets chopped into small pieces. And after enough years, you forget what deep feels like. Second, expectations. Before, people expected a response when it was reasonable. Now some people expect a response because they can see you received it. The technology turns availability into a moral test. Third, nervous system load. Your body can't tell the difference between a real emergency and a constant stream of tiny alerts. So it stays lightly braced. And that low-level brace shows up as fatigue, irritability, and that restless feeling like you can't fully land anywhere. This isn't about blaming phones. Phones are tools. The problem is the unspoken rule we let grow around them, that being reachable equals being good. We can't go back, but we can bring back the feeling deliberately. Start small. Choose one unreachable window a day. 20 minutes, 30 minutes. No notifications, no checking. Just you doing one thing without an audience. Put your phone in a different room when you eat. Not because you're dramatic, because you're practicing presence. Create a simple rule for messages. Not everything needs an immediate reply. A message can be received and still wait. That used to be normal. If you work on a computer, protect the end of your day. Close the tab. Log out. If your job truly needs you after hours, make it explicit. Don't let it become an unspoken default. And try this, one of the most Gen X things you can do. Tell people the truth kindly. Hey, I'm slow to respond sometimes. If it's urgent, call. That one sentence restores sanity for everyone involved. The old world wasn't better in every way, but it had one gift. It didn't demand your attention every minute. If you miss that, you're not nostalgic. You're noticing what your nervous system has been trying to say for years. Maybe the Gen X move is this. Use the tools without letting the tools use you. If you remember being unreachable, tell me your lost ritual. Busy signal? Answering machine? Calling after 9? Drop your birth year and one memory in the comments. Subscribe to Gen X Reflections for more time capsule stories. Next time, we'll talk about the day childhood stopped being outdoors by default and started being inside by design. Until then, go missing for a little while, just long enough to come back to yourself. If this video hit you right in the memories, then the next one I'm recommending below will probably have you nodding along too. Click it right now to watch.